Hello everybody, welcome to another Rosie video here today, and I thought we would talk about the difference. There's been a lot of talk between understanding what a recession is and understanding what a depression is. Recessions are typically pretty easy to understand. It's defined as 2 quarters of back-to-back negative economic growth. In other words, we go along maybe growing 1 to 4% a year, and then boom, we hit a recession. Maybe we're shrinking by 1 or 2% for a quarter or two. Two is generally the accepted definition of a recession. And then we get back on track again. It's usually a bout of indigestion in an economy. You might have overproduction of some goods, underconsumption, but it's something that usually rights itself in a very short period of time, economically speaking. Of course, it is painful if you're involved in it. The Great Recession of 2005 through really 2011, 2012 was certainly proof, really starting to intensify in 2008. It's really proof of how difficult and how taxing some recessions can be. Depressions, though, are a bird of a different feather. Depressions typically hit when things look great in an economy. Think of 1929, when people thought that there was full employment, full factory production, consumption was good. Of course, we know underneath of the real statistics, things weren't that great. We didn't have a COVID-19 at that time to knock things unhinged. It was just a matter of seemingly out of the blue, you had a collapse of stock prices that it was either a bell ringing, the canary in the coal mine that something more than your garden variety recession was underway, or some people still argue that it caused the Great Depression. It's amazing that it's still up for argumentation today, but that's the thing about economics, is it's always subject to interpretation. The point is, we have a very sharp, usually decline in stocks, and I mean sharp on the orders we've had here. 30+% in 1929. We had a 50% drop from September 3rd until November 15th of 1929. And we had a 38% initial decline here. Now, these typically look like they've come out of the blue. This one we have the cover of COVID-19, but there was some warnings back in August of 2019, August 14th, when the 2 and 10-year yields inverted, typically an excellent indicator of economic problems ahead, long before there was ever anything to do with the COVID-19. In any event, the effect is the same. We had a huge drop off the table in people scratching their heads. Oh, the economy is so good, it just can't be. We had 3% unemployment, things were going great. Restaurants were chock full, movie theaters, amusement, everything was going good. But in both of these cases, the market saw something ahead that was not good. And as we're seeing now, we're seeing over 20 million initial claims for unemployment. So we've got some serious problems to work at, and that's what really defines depression, is a more prolonged and protracted period of economic decline. And with the collapse of the service sector in this nation, we can legitimately expect, maybe when all is said and done, 30% unemployment, because it's such a large part of our economy. And what's going to happen is we're going to get down to real bedrock of what's important in an economy, and that takes a lot of time to do. And therein lies the difference between a recession and a depression. A depression is sharp, comes on quickly with usually a devastating drop in markets, stock markets, and then it takes a long time to dig out, okay? And usually a lot of government intervention, like we have today. All right, thanks so much for watching, everybody. Your comments are welcome below. And yeah, thumbs up are appreciated.